All right, you ready? 3, 2, 1. Welcome.
Okay.
And welcome to Slightly Off Target here on this Wednesday on AccessWDUN.com and YouTube, Twitter, and everywhere else you can find it. Bo Wilson alongside Jeff Hart and Seth Chapman. A day that turned pretty crappy about an hour and a half ago. It's the Flowery Branch Gainesville football game. We got the news. It's been canceled and will not be made up this season. So due to COVID-19 over at Flowery Branch, Jeff, it was like the game we were holding on to make this week a successful week.
Yeah, can we just skip ahead? It was a one game. I think there's. I thought there were two great games on the schedule, which was Rabun County going down to Elka, which that's going to be a great game regardless of what else is going on. The problem is it's in McDonough, and no one wants to drive through McDonough because we'll miss the entire game just trying to get off the exit. Right. So it's horrible down there. And the other was Flowery Branch Gainesville because you have a Flowery Branch team that's got. We've well documented it already. Just 2 or 3 weeks into the season, they've got a little bit of everything. And a team that we expect to have big things this year. Gainesville looked like they were on the upswing with their, revamping the offense, and they pummeled Chattahoochee last week, and so that was looking like it's going to be a great game. Big crowd.
This game was probably it was going to be a packed house over at City Park for this game. This season, as you said, a lot of new things. Branch.
I've already parked
all
my
of
car
the hype
over
was
there.
there for this game.
Yeah, the hype was huge for this game.
I had already parked my car over there to make sure I get a parking space.
Following both student sections on social media was hilarious, by the way.
Yeah,
those two go at each other during this week. So it was one of those games that was going to be huge from the standpoint of what Branch has done to start the season. What was it? They've given up 7 points in the last 6 quarters.
Something like that, yeah. One touchdown. They gave up, a couple of quick scores to St. Pius. Then they shut them out over the final 3 quarters. 1 touchdown last week in a win. Defense was playing like we thought they were going to play. And the offense looked very, very balanced. Miles Ivy was our gaining the edge player this week. He had a big game last week rushing the football. And David Renard has been running and passing and leading that offense. And, then you look on the other side with Gainesville, backs right. Looks like he's picking up a little steam. The running game was picking up steam. The defense pitched a shutout. So, I don't care who you play. Pitching a shutout's, not easy to do. So it's just disappointing because this is a game that, we really have been building to this game is one of our marquee games for the non-region schedule.
Well, it was our marquee game of the week on radio, AM 550, so our schedule is being shifted around as we speak. Gainesville, we talked to Coach Heath Webb. He is trying to find a game at short notice to come to City Park and play on Friday. If that does not happen, they have an open date next week and an open date in October to find a 10th game for this season. Flowery Branch, on the other hand, most likely will not be ready for next Friday's open date because of all the GHSA protocols, the 5-day reacclimation of the players that have tested positive. So they're looking at their next open date, I think, in October.
Right,
so
something like that.
That's the issue there of what's going on. Talking to both coaches this morning, they were not pleased, obviously, about the game being canceled, but it's what they have to go by. And Coach Ben Hall told us that, due to the rising number of cases on the team, it's unfortunate they had to cancel, and that he is going to get his players healthy so they can move forward later on in this season. Yeah,
I almost see if Gainesville can't get a game by probably today, it's going to be difficult for them to get a game and get prepared in some way. I don't see them taking a game next week, even with the open date that they have, because the following week they open their region schedule with Forsyth Central, and I just if you were looking at that week as an open date to get prepared for Forsyth Central, you have to put that preparation on hold for a new team that you're going to have to look. I'm just not. So they may go 3 weeks between games, and how is that going to affect them if that's the case with your region opener?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So they're kind of in a tough spot.
Yeah, it would definitely. They're definitely in a tough spot to try to find a game. But that's what we're dealing with. Also, another cancellation this week: Commerce and Athens Academy. They are off of the schedule, so that one is canceled as well. Right now, we are looking at possibly having Chestatee and Union County on 550 this week, and looking at Jefferson and Southside, South Carolina, not changing, going to be on 102.9, and then going to Hart County to cover North Hall on the Lake, 94.5 at AM 1240 The Lake. That is right now. Stay tuned to the website. We will update the radio schedule as soon as that happens.
Is there a team that you're looking at this week that needs to make a statement one way or another, recovering from a loss, continuing a solid start?
Yeah, it would be North Hall.
I was gonna say that as well.
All of us here went into that game last week, or went into last week.
I think we all picked them. We all picked
North Hall, thinking that North Hall was going to have a good game against Stevens County, and nothing, as you were there, Jeff, nothing turned out to be a good game for North Hall. Even talking to Coach Bishop this week about the game, Coach's Corner coming up, it should be on the site now, or coming up in a little bit on the site, said that his team played very uninspired and that they've owned it this week, and they're looking to rectify the problems and whatever's happening over at North Hall. But it's just one loss to a good Stevens County team.
And it's not a region game.
Right.
But, to what Coach Bishop said, there should have been a lot of reasons to be inspired. I mean, Coach Bishop had been out for a couple of weeks, dealing with the death of his mother. Coach Christmas was at the game.
Yeah.
I took a picture. I tweeted it out. I mean, you would think that if this is a good week to get motivated. We got our coach back. We got our old coach here, and they seem flat right from the get-go. The first quarter was somewhat even, and then they just couldn't get anything going. But, I'm going to tell you, I was impressed with Stevens County. Seth, you were there. I was impressed with Stevens County. Their quarterback and their running back, and they had a lot of weapons on offense. And that defense really kind of manhandled that North Hall line.
Stevens County defense is the one who really shined in that game.
Yeah.
Just North Hall could not get past them.
They had nothing really to counter. They even went to the passing game a little bit, but they couldn't really get a whole lot going with that. More than I was disappointed in North Hall, I think I was more impressed with what I saw from Stevens. I think, they probably would have been a playoff team last year, but they had a couple games canceled for COVID. And, boy, that's a beast region over there in 8-3A. So it'll be interesting to see where Stevens goes from here. I had called that a playoff preview game, that possible, they might see each other again. But if they do, North Hall is going to have to make some adjustments.
Well, it doesn't get any easier for the Trojans this week as they head to Hart County.
Which may be better than Stevens.
Which, the Lackey kid running back up there, he had 188 yards rushing last week against White County.
5 touchdowns.
So Stevens has beaten White and North Hall, and now Hart County, who beat White County last week, will play North Hall. Can North Hall stop the 8-3A streak against 7-3A?
I'm going to tell you right now, if you're 7-3A as a whole, you've got to be a little concerned because they've gone head-to-head with 8-3A. It's not going well.
No.
It is not going well. Now, it's early in the season, and you got some teams that can build and get a little bit better. But, we kind of felt the way North Hall looked in that opening game and what they did in the scrimmage, that we kind of felt like they might have even been a little ahead of where they normally are this year. But, we'll at this time of the season usually. So we'll have to see how it goes. I mean, hopefully they'll put in a little better showing at Hart. But I think this is a game that they're going to have to show a little bit to themselves.
Right.
Or you might start wanting to get a little concerned, unfortunately. And this is a team that we picked them to win the region. I think that, Stevens is good. Hart's good. You've got to have a good showing this week.
Well, I think as you mentioned a moment ago, playoff type matchup.
Absolutely.
And this would be another one, not necessarily the two matching up, but a playoff team.
Absolutely. So I firmly see Hart making the playoffs. I think after what I saw last week, I see Stevens coming out of there. But that's a tough reach. You got Oconee County, who's a 2-time state runner-up. and you got Hart, and you got Franklin's looking pretty good. That's a really, really difficult region.
Another team that last week that kind of surprised me a bit was Dawson County against Flowery Branch. Now, the outcome of the game was 31-7. Branch wins that one, but I think it was like 14-7 at halftime.
You were looking at that game as were you looking more at what Branch was doing or more what Dawson was doing?
Well, personally, going into the game, I felt like David Bernard was going to have a good night as far as
and you don't think he had a good
yards. They held him under 200 yards passing, I believe, the stats that we had.
Yeah, but they had Miles Ivy running wild.
But Ivy was running wild, so you had a really good balance offensively there. But Dawson is a team that we both know lost a lot of athletes, a lot of players. They
lost playmakers in the wide receiving and in the secondary.
The entire receiving crew.
Yeah,
and they had
crazy.
to fill the secondary up. So that's one of the reasons why I was thinking that Renard might have a much larger yardage output,
right,
is because of some of the secondary issues that Dawson was having. But you look at what Dawson has done against Flowery Branch and how the defense played. To talk to Ben Hall also last week or earlier this week, and he said Dawson was a good football team, played good defense. So, you see the improvement there from Dawson, but you also see improvement, from Flowery Branch as well.
Right.
But that game kind of surprised me a little bit.
Yeah, I
not gonna lie, I thought Flowery Branch was gonna blow way past Dawson County. Sorry, Flowery
I don't
Branch.
think 31-7 is not what you would call close, but
no,
but
the game was close for
it was closer
a while
than that score, right?
Yeah.
Well, I think that the issue, we're talking about we were more concerned about the Dawson County defense,
right?
But Zach Holtzclaw led 3 a.m. passing last year.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, that offense is really struggling for Dawson County. I think that's where they're going to have to find some answers, even more so than on defense, because, you can be great on defense and hold the team to 14, but if you can't score, and right now, that's more their issue.
Yeah.
Is that they just right now they're not having any playmakers to really come with Zach Holtzclaw, and no one guy can do it.
Well, that's. As they progress, they've got another tough game, South Forsyth. They go down to South Forsyth.
Why is it that? Why do they pick on the 7A schools? I don't understand it. Which, look, I realize they're close by, but that's really stepping up in competition right there.
That game was a shootout last year, much like Flowery Branch.
But they had offensive playmakers,
a lot of playmakers,
and they don't now.
No,
not as many.
The Jackson County East Jackson game. You look at that game last week. It's 26-0, but it was 7-0 at halftime. And talking to Coach Pettis, it could have been 7-7 at halftime. A touchdown was called back.
Everything that we're hearing out there in the football, ionosphere or whatever you want to call it, everybody seems to think that East Jackson is a team coming. Now they're 0-2. They played North Hall tough for a half. They played Jackson County tough for a half. They played West Hall tough the entire game. That was 14-7. I believe what I'm hearing out there. We were at East Jackson. They had a lot more guys. They had bigger guys. They looked like football players. We'd all like Coach Pettis. I think that's a team, but I'm going to tell you, I think Jackson County is another one of those teams in that region. That's a region that, playoff spots are available if you can put something together. And this might be the year. McWhorter is an offensive genius. He had shown that everywhere he's been. But I did some numbers.
No.
I did. Defense seems to be the thing with Jackson County.
Information.
I'm a numbers guy.
Yeah.
Do I do that often? Is that
interesting, useless information.
Yes, that's me. Look,
does this fall under that category?
1-800 useless information. That's me.
Does this information you're about to give
I thought you were just going to stop
under?
at useless.
Wow.
Boom, boom.
You've been talking to my wife, haven't you? Anyway.
Point, Seth.
Mark it down.
Oh, goodness.
Will this be considered useless?
I don't know. Actually, I don't think so. Okay. I just think it's interesting.
Okay.
I don't know if it's useless. You could be the judge of that.
Okay.
So they're 8-13 under McWhorter at Jackson County. 6 of their 8 wins are by shutout.
Mm-hmm.
So defense is the key. We talk about offense and what he's always brought to the table. but when they play defense, they win the game. So that really seems to be the key. So, which means putting up 26 points and showing some offense in their opener. I think Jackson County's a team to look out for. I do. I think that's a team
I wouldn't disagree.
I can see them making the playoffs in 8-5A.
So another game on Friday. Now let's go back a little bit to our discussions when we were looking at region picks. Okay, check the magazine out if you haven't already. It's in the magazine. West Hall.
We'll hold on while you go get it.
West Hall, East Hall, playing at East Hall Stadium last Friday.
Right.
Now, talking to Crofton Montgomery before that game, he felt like his secondary was the best he's had in years, right?
He has said that,
okay.
Yes, and they're loaded on defense.
Right, loaded on defense.
One of the best linebacking groups in the area.
Well, the offense showed up too. 48-21 win over East Hall. West Hall, impressive, starting the season 2-0 for the first time since 2012, I believe.
Something like that.
Yeah.
14, 12, 14, something like that. It's you got I like what I'm seeing out of West Hall. I mean, I think we thought their defense was going to be good. They were breaking in a new quarterback. They had, Tilla Blackwell at running back, but, they lost the receiver that led 4A in receiving last year in Rodriguez. So it's Rodrigo, my bad. Lopez, I believe. Mm-hmm. And, so you didn't, were they going to be able to get that balance where they're just going to kind of shift more to a power running team? But, we're seeing Nick Sturm. I mean, he's showing balance in the pass and run game. And we knew the defense was going to be good.
Blackwell
and I think to hold
Friday.
And I know Queek Cooper at East Hall, I mean, he was a top 4 or 5 passer in Class 4A last year. Yeah, they got new receivers this year.
New coaches.
But new coaches. I'm going to tell you, that receiving core is very talented. I mean, it's very athletic. They made some great catches in the scrimmage game that I saw, and it doesn't matter who they were playing. These catches were phenomenal catches. So to hold that passing offense to 21 points, and Queek Cooper had less than 200 yards passing, that's pretty stout. I like what I'm seeing out of West Hall. I mean, we picked them to make the playoffs. There's nothing I'm seeing so far that's making me go, no, that wasn't a good pick.
So West Hall plays.
They're off this week.
I know, but they play Chestatee the following week, right?
I'm not. I believe that's correct. I don't have my schedule in front of me.
All right, so there you go. And, of course, Buford had a little trouble with Clark Central.
That was kind of shocking.
Jake Pope, though,
but I believe
with a pick six at the end of the game to push it up in that.
That was basically 10-3.
But we were hearing through the grapevine that some quarantines or
there
some
was.
injuries
I think
or
like
something.
3 or 4 of their
Buford.
offensive line guys were out, so that's going to hurt your depth. I don't care, even if you're Buford, that's going to hurt depth. If you take out an
offensive
entire
line also was one of the positions that they were
kind of rebuilding a little bit, right? So that makes a little more sense when you see what was going on as you were following that game on Friday. 10-3, 10-3.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there was 47-0 last year.
Yes.
So I was like, surely, I know Clark Central was supposed to be better, but I just didn't see that coming.
Who's Shirley?
Yeah, don't call me Shirley.
Don't call me Shirley.
Don't call me Shirley.
I mean, come on, Jeff.
Edwina's okay, not Shirley.
Edwina.
Where'd that come from?
Where did that come from?
Well, you call me old. That was one of those names from the 1800s.
Oh, okay. Well, look, this week.
You know what name was probably also around in the 1800s? Jeff.
Rowe.
Wow.
Jeffrey.
Jeff Rowe.
Oh, wow. Okay.
All right.
By the way, and
so
just
no Bo,
on that,
no Seth?
on that. Well, Seth was probably around, but
Seth Rowe.
Have you guys seen that clip of I think it's Freddie Freeman running and Dodgers third baseman is like, or no, Cubs third baseman is calling him Frederick while he's running from him on Instagram.
Oh yeah.
Making sure I hope I said the teams right, but all I know is Freddie Freeman running, getting caught in a pickle, and dude chasing him just goes, Freddie, Frederick, and they both just start dying laughing.
That's pretty good.
I have not.
I don't know.
seen
The name thing got me onto that one. It's probably one of my favorite clips out there right now.
I will have to look that one up.
Okay. Any other game on the schedule this week that you feel like piques your interest?
Let me look at that schedule again. We've already talked Raven Elka, right?
Make sure you erase this one. We got to go delete that.
Oh, yeah.
We're
We're going to have to get rid of some of these that aren't there. I'll tell you, Riverside.
Riverside.
They haven't played
Okay.
in 600 by the time, if they play on Friday.
Come in.
672 days between games.
672 days. You
That's
got to be kidding me.
That's a lot of days.
That is
the
a
last
lot of
time they
days.
had to stretch this long without playing a game, when they skipped the 16 season because of World War I. So it's been a while.
Man.
Go ahead and say it.
Wait, look, we might as
No,
well.
I applaud your digging.
I do applaud your digging.
Thank you.
That explains.
Well, somebody's got to do
Just
some
make sure
work
you fill
around
that
here.
hole up after
explains
you dig
all
it.
you
why
do
you
is
have mud on your.
you get a
your
call,
legs.
and then the day is ended. It's all over. He gets a
I
call.
was throwing stuff.
and
not
our
gonna
whole
lie.
day was just blown up right
Yeah.
there. So somebody had to work. Somebody had to work.
Although another useless, interesting stat that you gave me was on Ben Hall.
Now that came from Caleb.
Okay, from Caleb.
That came from Caleb.
Okay, okay, so I'm the third one to get it. Third
Yeah,
hand.
he
same
didn't
thing.
want us to. Ben probably wouldn't want us to throw this out there, but we're going to.
We're going to
We're going
because I text Ben that
Yeah, Ben
today,
Hall.
and he said he thought that was very interesting.
Yeah, Ben Hall is I think 16-0 against
That was-
Hall County
That was
teams.
21-0. Since,
Well, he's 16-0 against Hall County teams
okay,
since he's been at Flowery Branch.
okay,
21-0 Hall County teams against Hall County teams since 2013.
And the other interesting thing.
Now, okay. Now hold on a second.
Go to the other interesting
Right.
part of this.
It's interesting that it's still
the
77
16-0
degrees in
streak
here.
goes back to a loss to North Hall.
Yes.
And when he was the coach at Jefferson, the last time he lost to a Hall County team was to North Hall. So
there you go, folks.
we'll give that one to
Today's
Caleb. So
useless,
interesting.
interesting
So
knowledge.
if Flowery Branch doesn't play North Hall, we know why.
Right.
They're streak busters. So they don't it's like a state championship game on the line. We're not playing them. I'm sorry, we're just not playing them.
Okay, go to the website. You can check out the Coaches Corner on there at this moment. You can read what the Erie coaches have to say about last week's games and about coming up this week games. We also have a Riverside story coming up tomorrow.
Right.
And we have what we're going to run anyway because Seth and Caleb has put in a boatload of time into what I've been calling our A60.
You want to preview it
And
a
I'm
little
going to
bit?
let Seth tell us about it. It's coming up in the morning. We're going to run it regardless because it's too good to hold on to.
That's correct.
What do you got, Seth?
Me and Caleb, or Caleb and I, to be proper, he and I have been working tirelessly on a really great feature that was going to preview the Flowery Branch Gainesville game. It was I believe a 30-minute long short documentary about the 09 semifinal match at Gainesville, between Gainesville and Flowery Branch. And we did a bunch of interviews for it, coaches, players
From years past.
From
years past.
They were part
and
of the game. Which
yes,
is
they
really
were part of the game.
interesting.
Which
People we hadn't
our own
talked to in
Caleb was
years.
part of the game.
And if folks that remember that season, remember that was the second game of the year they played each other because Gainesville totally killed them in the regular season.
Right.
Because they were in the same region.
That is
obviously
discussed
same
in a segment
classification,
of this
We even have a
A60 that
Morgan
we put
Lee
together.
segment, don't
We have a wild Morgan Lee returned to us for a little
Yes.
while for some interviews.
Actually,
Gene
Morgan,
Anderson in
yeah.
there. We've got pretty much all the bases were covered on this. All of the footwork was done, and boy, did it come out really good.
I can't wait to see the whole. I keep seeing bits and pieces.
Oh, yeah.
So I can't wait to see the whole thing put together, which I know you're finishing up. So I'm going to be
Tomorrow
watching
morning,
that.
our Game of the Week feature will be a feature on a game that's not going to be played. But it's still our Game of the Week feature. So we're going to roll with it. So look for the website.
Our near
tomorrow.
feature length
Yes,
feature.
yes. So look for that. Also on
now
the
you
website.
see why Bo was throwing phones.
Yes. Also on the website on Access on Friday Game Night and our sports page, check out our Gaining the Edge feature this week as we're going to show you a little bit of that. You're coming up here in just a moment. But Flowery Branch's Miles Ivey with a big night against Dawson County.
Yes, folks. If you didn't see it there, you can see it here. Check it out.
Miles is he's one of the loudest guys in the locker room. You know, when that door's shut, I know when Miles comes in, and he's usually stirring stuff up with other people, and there's no secret when that sucker walks into the room.
165 and 2 touchdowns.
Yes, sir.
20 carries, wasn't it?
Yes, sir.
20 carries. Looking at those stats, seeing them now, how cool is that for you?
It was a good experience. I know I could do it. It's just a matter of execute my gameplay, reading the blocks, and the line. The line executed that game. He's
competitive, and he runs hard. And, you know, he's not the biggest guy on the team, and he runs with a passion, and he tries to run the ball violently, and he has to, because, you know, at 5'7", 165 pounds, 170 maybe, he has to run hard, and he takes pride in that. He's a physical player.
So we're kind of here to figure out what is it that gives you your edge? What do you think it is?
My work ethic in the weight room, on the field, every chance I get, practice, I treat it like the game. Go hard every play.
The fact that he's a team player, he loves his teammates, and his teammates love him, and it's just it's a great culture in that locker room with Miles, and he loves playing the game for Flowery Branch. I know that.
How confident are you and your guys to block for you?
Very confident. We go out every play. I know they'll ride for me. I ride for them.
The fact that they trust one another, and he knows that they're going to try. You know, they're going to try for him, and they know that he's going to run the ball hard for them. So I think it goes both ways.
But like all of us, we're getting closer this year. It's like a new team. Like we had 2 groups of seniors. We lost 20 seniors each group. But we're all getting close, getting together, all that.
Any kind of fun memories that kind of pop into your head about when you talk about the team getting closer?
Trip to Alabama, yeah.
Trip to Alabama, talk to me about that.
7-on-7, the pool and all that. That was very fun.
These kids are all friends, and the older kids do a great job taking care of the younger kids and bringing them along, and I think that's one of the major ingredients to a successful program is friendship and liking one another, and these kids definitely do that.
We started off in the summer. I don't think we were always serious, but after we beat Pius, we knew what we could really do. We could go far. The sky's the limit.
Miles Ivy, our Gaining the Edge feature this week for Flowery Branch. So coming up later on this week, we're going to have our Pick'em show on Friday. So we'll post that on Friday morning, and we'll let you know who won.
I'm embarrassed.
You should be.
I finished below Seth.
You
so
should.
I'm just, well, okay.
I knew there was a dig coming after that last comment.
12-2, 11-3, and what would that be? 10-4. So we're all right there.
Yeah.
But I had a couple of picks that kind of got away from me, like a hanging curveball.
Yeah, sure.
Oops.
You did. Okay. All right, that's a wrap for the show today. As again, go to the Friday Game Night page. Check out all the work we've been doing this week, and also look for upcoming Pick'em show. That's coming up on Friday. We're looking forward to that one. For Seth Chapman, Jeff Hart, I'm Bo Wilson. By the way, check us out on Twitter at Friday Game Night. Jeff's at HartJJ22.
It's like I'm Bo, by the way.
Bo Wilson. And Seth is on Instagram at Seth_&_
My Instagram personality has simply faded into our Instagram. That's what's going on.
He says that every week. But go check him out. All of his work.
I'm going to try and start posting more stuff from here.
Enjoy week number 3, everyone. Goodbye.